Let's get nuts, guys. Almost had the microphone off there. What's happening, film friends? Welcome to Film Junkee Live. There we are. What is happening, guys? Welcome. Let's talk some movies, huh? Let's talk some movies, some other nerdy shit. Good to see you guys. Let's see. Where's that? I still have to fix some of this stuff, man. So I just get lazy. Do that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Okay, I've got the Patreon too. I do a post show after every Monday stream. So if you want to support the channel, do that. I posted a Sunday evening hangover podcast last night. And anybody that listens to that, I swear I was not high, but I just had thoughts this weekend. I had some interesting thoughts. So have fun with that, you guys on Patreon. And of course, thank you guys for supporting and everything. We'll be doing, hopefully, we'll do like a Saturday vodka stream soon so you guys can join the panel. Anyways, let's see who's out there. We got Ghoul right here. Just watched the lunar flyby of the Artemis 2 crew. That's right. Didn't they just go around to the dark side of the moon? Pretty amazing times for space fans right now. Can't wait for 2028 when we land on the moon with Artemis 4. Crazy that it took this long for us to go back to the moon. That's what's really crazy. Why is that over there like that? Let's do, there we go, fix that. What's going on, Mr. Fear Jason? Good to see you, buddy. We also got Axel right here. Also good to see you. Andrew Hughes. Happy Monday to you as well. I was fortunate enough to cop Dune 3 tickets for myself and two friends for IMAX 7mm screening. Super excited. Usually my most anticipated of the year next to Nolan's Odyssey. Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that because that was like, holy shit. That thing just sold out freaking quick, I tell ya. Just kind of shows you right there, people who are doubting. What's going on, Mr. Lane? After seeing Project Hail Mary, I think we're going to get Mr. Greg Fraser's touch on both the Batman 2 and Dune 3. I know, the dude's just freaking awesome. Monique, hello, y'all. Marvelous Monday to you, of course. It's chicken thighs, fried apples and pears, and Neiman Marcus rolls. I'm trying to... What is Neiman? I'm going to have to look that up. What do those look like? Because those Marcus rolls. Oh, is that just like a certain... Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Those are like basically like almost like a cinnamon roll type, but it's a certain type. Good stuff. Looks yummy. That's for damn sure. It's like a... Oh, you just said it right there. I should have read the whole caption. I'm dumb. It's a cinnamon roll, and instead of sugar, it's bacon and cheese chives. There you go. I just had to get a look at it, and it looks amazing. Jace. All right, and then, of course, we got Mr. Dell in the city. What's happening, Dell? Good, sir. Always great to see you. We got Mr. Hardboiled, Mr. Eric right here. If Gunn's time is DC really, if Gunn's time at DC is really gonna end soon, at least he'll be like, hey, I was the one who finally brought Brainiac to the big screen. That's very true. That is very freaking true. He will at least have that because it's, you know, how many times have we heard that Brainiac was going to be coming on the big screen? It just did not freaking happen. Yo, what's happening, Raw Frequency? And then, yeah, I figured. I thought it was funny. But good to see you versus Seed. We got Mr. Ryan right here. We got Devin. What's going on? Do you got a chance to see the new WB movie from the actress who plays... Oh, I didn't see it. Sadly, I didn't see it. I want to... you're talking about They Will Kill You or whatever. I didn't see that. Did not see that for sure. So, watched Project Hail Mary 3 times already. Nice. That's cool, man. All right. Well, good to see you guys. Like I said, subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. Leave a comment. Notification bell. Do all that. And let's have some fun, of course. We got plenty to talk about. Yes, we got some Lars Eidinger. If I'm saying his name wrong, I'm probably saying his name wrong. We got him actually finally talking. We get to hear that voice of his. He also has a very funny James Gunn impression when it came to this interview that we're going to be looking at. So we got some of that. We got some Batman 2 talk. Not much else when it comes to DCU stuff, but, maybe something else popped up. And then, of course, we're going to talk about this Saudi Arabia throwing a bunch of money into this investment, which is just like, Jesus. And then, of course, you have dumb fans out there that, when you express your concerns, they're only just talking about cape shit, which I'm like, there's legitimate concerns out there, but you guys just have one thing on your brain. Don't care about anything else, of course. Fandom was a mistake. That's for damn sure. Then we'll talk about the box office. Obviously, the Super Mario Galaxy movie blew up the box office, broke records and all the things. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Dune Part 3 and the 7mm IMAX screenings were sold out so quickly. So we'll talk about a little bit about that. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. I saw Project Hail Mary again. I know I posted the image of me and Mama Film Junkee from the movie theater when we saw it. Sadly, it wasn't in IMAX or anything because obviously Super Mario movie took over the IMAX screens, so we saw it in a smaller theater. But she loved it. She absolutely loved it. So she felt all the emotions, of course, of that movie because that movie just, and seeing it for a second time, I tell you, it's just a feel-good movie. And then you're like, oh, when certain scenes are going to be happening, what happens, and then things that you might have missed. So good stuff. So I did that and hung out with a bunch of friends, watched the freaking Giants get their asses handed to them by the Mets this weekend. Oh, man, it's just bad. If you're a San Francisco Giants fan, it's bad. It's bad right now. It's just not good. What's happening, D-Man? 7,000, good to see you. Just doing a little recap of my weekend and everything. All right, enough about that. Let's see. Did I mess that up? I think I did. Hold on. There we go. We're good now. Okay. Let's go to the tweets. Let's start looking at some of the tweets out there. Let's see. Was there anything? Nah, I don't think so. I think we're all right when it comes to that. All right, let's go ahead and start. Where should we start? Let's start right here, okay? Weapons prequel. Guess what it's going to be called, guys? If you guess Gladys, good job. Because, that's what it's called. It's called Gladys. There you go. Nothing to it right there. But the reason why I was going to show this right here, because somebody actually did a funny little edit right here when it came to Nicole Kidman. Obviously, we know about the opening of the AMC stuff. It's been memed to death, but someone right here named Willful Chaos. He said, "We come to this place for Gladys," and turned her into that. So I thought that was funny. That's pretty funny. She's got a look. She's got a certain look to her. That's for damn sure. She definitely has a certain look to her. Oh boy, you guys ready for some more awful AI slop and some just what the hell's going on when it comes to certain fans in the fandom that just won't stop? But I'm just kind of going like, what are we thinking here? What do we think? Are you guys just like putting prompts into AI and you're just having them shit out whatever the hell? And now I'm like going, wait a minute, I saw this on my For You page. And I see a lot of it. I don't always comment about some of the stuff, like the AI Snyderverse stuff that I see. Most of it looks like ass. Every now and again, some of it looks pretty decent. I've shown some in the past that look pretty decent, like when it comes to Batfleck and Deathstroke. Some of that was looking pretty, it's looking all right, but still, you just kind of go, no, this is not it. This is definitely not it when it comes to all that. But you already know that everybody's going to be doing that. But it's just, again, sometimes I just wonder about the choices. Like, what are you guys thinking here? Like, all of a sudden, like, we're going to incorporate this character into the Nightmare timeline? What? And that character is Zachary Levi's Shazam? Look at that. And I guess Superman is good now. Superman is he's not the villain of the Nightmare world, which I thought that was the whole concept of the Nightmare world, was that Superman was basically Darkseid's front man. But look at that. We got Zachary Levi's. All right. And he's totally just, he's got some extra gauntlets right here because, he needs extra protection. But I saw that. I was like, wait. We want Zachary Levi's Shazam to be in the Nightmare world like that? I don't know about this. I don't know about that, guys. Again, I think sometimes these guys just throw shit at the wall. Maybe some of these guys are just, I don't know. I don't know. It's all weird. But can we also do this, guys? Can I beg people, and it's mainly, that side of the fandom that is always throwing this image around. Can we please, for the love of God, can we stop? I see this image on my For You page like every 6 weeks. All right. It just seems like it's out there. And then there's just like people that just want to constantly comment about this. It's like, yes, we get it. It's been 3 years. Can we actually move on from this? Please. This image right here, it's just like it haunts my For You page. And of course, this person right here says, can we all agree that these are the worst comic book suits of all time? And of course, it is the Flash suit from the Flash movie and the Ben Affleck Batman suit from the movie. But they're always using the bootleg. Why the bootleg image? Always using the bootleg image. The movie's out. You could use the high quality image and still, I'm like, why? But yes, we get it. We know. First off, I don't think the Flash costume was all that bad. From that angle, yeah, it doesn't look good. Certain angles, it doesn't look good. Sometimes some of these superhero costumes don't look good in certain angles, okay? But the Flash costume in other angles looks pretty fucking slick. Not gonna lie. I actually like the cowl. Now, the Ben Affleck Batsuit, yeah, sure. Looks like shit. And I told you why that it does. And it was mainly the choice of, hey, the actor who wanted to get into the suit, he didn't want to wear the heavy, super heavy, with the bat suits that he previously wore, because let's face it, the bat suits just suck to wear, even though it feels kind of cool, it looks cool, but they're difficult to wear. But it's kind of funny, too, because, when these guys are always criticizing that batsuit, guess what batsuit is on display at our Artist Equity, which is Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's production company? Guess what batsuit is on display? That one. And I'm willing to bet you're not going to tell Ben Affleck, oh, that fucking suit sucks, man. Worst comic book suit ever. Why do you have that displayed? But yeah, he does have it there. It's kind of funny because I think Ben Affleck has the BVS batsuit displayed at his house. Of course, he's going to have that one at his house. He ain't going to put that one in the office. What are we talking about? But yeah. Anyways, can we stop? We get it. The people don't like it. Obviously, there's so much hyperbole. The worst comic book suits. Come on, not the worst. I don't think that's the worst, but like I said, the Flash costume looked good in certain angles, certain ways, especially with the Flash when he's running, when he's going through the Speed Force and everything. But yeah, the Ben Affleck one in there didn't look all that great. It was basically just a bodysuit, the cowl, and then a bunch of let's just strap a bunch of armor to it. So, ugh. What about the suits in Gunn Superman? No, they're better than that Batsuit. They're much better than that Batsuit. Sorry, in my opinion, they definitely are. So we got the Mummy 4 coming out, right? And naturally, we're all we're pretty excited about that, of course, with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz and some of the other cast members that are going to be returning. But somebody brought up this idea right here. This is from Covered Geekly, and it was kind of interesting because. I mean, obviously it's not going to happen, but I thought, wouldn't it be kind of cool? Because Stephen Sommers, who did the original Mummies movies, he also did a Van Helsing movie. So what if you brought in Van Helsing into the Mummy franchise and brought back Hugh Jackman? Now that the Mummy 4 is happening, fans want to cross over with Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing. Both Van Helsing and the Mummy were directed by the same person, which of course was Stephen Sommers. There you go. Hey. Why not have a little crossover? Everybody's trying to do a cinematic universe. You could have something like a little crossover when it comes to all that. I don't know. Probably it's not going to happen because doesn't Van Helsing take place much more in the past? And I mean, he's not immortal, is he? I don't know. They'd have to do maybe a time travel thing. That'd be pretty funny. Anyways, okay. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that too. Yeah. Of course, we'll talk about that. Let's see what else we got. And you love to see this. You love to see this kind of stuff because the GOAT himself, they're still human, okay? These guys, yeah, they make some of the best movies. And even when it comes to, I love it when they just try to be normal. And the good thing about when you're a director, not many people are going to know your face. They're going to know your name, but they're not going to know your face. So you can just hey, I'm going to go to the movies and check out a movie. But check this out. This is pretty cool. So we got Christopher Nolan Where was he at? Christopher Nolan was, let's see, Christopher Nolan catching Super Mario Galaxy Matinee with a theater of under 10. I think it's at the City Walk. Looks like. I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is in L.A. But look, he's just walking. Just walking with his water. Apparently caught a matinee. Supporting the arts. Even, I guess he's a Mario Brothers fan. Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, there you go. You love seeing that stuff. But that's a good thing about being a director. Not everybody's going to know your face. So you can get away with it. There's going to be some people, like this person who's recording, is like, holy shit, it's Christopher Nolan. So, pretty cool. So the Daniels, of course, who made Everything Everywhere All at Once, they have their new movie that they're trying to get going right now, and I don't even know exactly what it is. I don't know if any details have come across when it came to that, but apparently there was rumors that they wanted Ryan Gosling to star in it, and apparently Ryan Gosling did, in fact, he was like, yeah, I want to sign in this, whatever the story is, which I'm sure it's like a crazy fucking story from the Daniels. He was going to star in the movie, but sadly, due to scheduling, the Daniels are like, fuck. Ryan Gosling has exited the Daniels' upcoming film due to scheduling. That sucks. Hoping to get a good, let's see what's happening right here. Exclusive. After hoping to get a great deal for Ryan Gosling to star in Universal's secret untitled project directed by the Daniels, a.k.a. Daniel Kwan, and of course Daniel Schenmark. Sources say that Gosling is no longer appearing in the film. When Deadline first broke the news that Gosling was in negotiations to star, we also learned that the film was set to shoot in Los Angeles this summer after receiving California tax credit. You don't hear about that too much. California tax credit? Can I get one of those? The project was unable to move off its targeted date, so scheduling could not be worked out with the studio and Gosling to close a deal. Crap! Well, that sucks. That sucks for them because, Ryan Gosling is like, he's that guy. He's the movie star right now. No, it's not the, what? Wait, did he exit the Wolfman movie? Yeah, he also exited the, yeah, dude. Oh, you're talking about that one Wolfman movie by Lee Whannell? Was it that one? I don't know. But yeah. So there you go. That sucks. What happened? Wait, what are we doing here? Hey, why are we deleting messages, Ryan? You just said trash. Relax. Hey, let's relax a little bit on that. Come on, what are we doing here? The Flash suit was better. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You guys can argue, we don't have to always delete messages because somebody disagrees. We could relax a little bit there, guys. Don't want to take in, don't get too crazy when it comes to all this. So is Jafar Jackson going to get a Best Actor nom next year when it comes to the Oscars? Well, I guess you could say at the end of this year when when award season starts happening. Are we gonna just suspect that he's going to get nominations? And because this clip right here was released, and it was first released when he was on some talk show, but basically when it came to his I think it was like a Motown performance in like 1982, 1983. Michael Jackson, the first time he performed Billie Jean, of course he was doing, he was lip syncing, but of course he was dancing around, and then he did the moonwalk for the first time. So I'm not going to play the music because copyright, but I mean, it's like a shot for shot. I mean, it's a freaking shot for shot. People were comparing the shot for shot, and it was just like, holy crap. I mean, it was just pretty down. The only thing is, though, I hate this edit right here. Okay, so he does that, and then they show the crowd, and then he does it again. So it's a bad edit. But yeah, that's him doing the moonwalk for the first time. But yeah, the editing is a little choppy. I'm not going to lie, the editing is a little choppy. And being an editor, I just immediately saw that. Like, he does that. See how he does his spin, and he does like the Michael Jackson little freaking that. And then he shows the crowd, and then he does it again because it's a bad edit. It's a bad, whoever edited that needs to fucking not do that. Show the crowd so they kind of messed that up. So when you do it side by side, it doesn't sync up. I'm just saying, but it looks pretty cool. just looks pretty cool. So, yeah. So does he win an Oscar? And of course, naturally, what happens when you post something like that and the tweet ends up kind of like going off a little bit because a lot of people are looking forward to this movie. This could end up being one of the biggest movies of the year. 100% might be one of the biggest movies of the year because it's Michael freaking Jackson. And people are going to be flocking to the movie theater to see this movie. It could be $1 billion movie. I'm just saying. Could be $1 billion movie. But of course, a lot of people are like, nah, it's just an impression, man. Just an impression. You don't get Oscars for an impression. Just doing an impression. I was getting a lot of that when I came to my tweet, and I'm just like, whoa. Okay, wait. Are we just gonna take the Oscar away from Jamie Foxx, from Rami Malek? I mean, some people thought that Rami Malek shouldn't have won the Oscar for, doing Freddie Mercury. I mean, he did such a fantastic job, but of course, naturally, he couldn't sing like Freddie Mercury. He couldn't do the singing. Like Jamie Foxx actually did the singing. But I'm just like going like, okay, yeah, there's like a little bit of impersonation, sure, but we have to see the entire movie. If he does a good performance just all throughout the movie, through like the dramatic elements and everything, I mean, I think just like from what I've seen, it's like his uncle is just totally possessed him, just 100% possessed him. So it's going to be interesting to see how it's all received. And naturally, there's going to be like that controversy of like, oh, are they going to mention some of the other stuff, the later years when things, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But we already know that I think there is supposed to be a part 2 that's going to be the later years, which is going to be interesting. I'm not sure if they haven't announced anything, but there's been rumors that, yeah, there's going to be the later years part 2. Who knows? But I'm just kind of wondering when it comes to this one, which is probably going to be, obviously, it's going to be from him as a child to basically, from what I could tell, I think it's going to be all the way up to like in the 80s, going into the 90s. I don't know how much else they're going to be doing. They're not going to be doing, I don't think they could fit, because it's supposed to be like a 2-hour plus movie. I don't know how much they can actually fit. So it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting to see if he ends up getting that. But when people were just like, no, man, he's just doing an impersonation. It's like, yeah, they could have hired any fucker on the fucking Vegas Strip or anywhere. You can go in Hollywood in front of the Chinese theater and you can find a Michael Jackson impersonator, and they all think that they're better. There's like controversy when the trailer came out, when they showed like Michael Jackson impersonators like reacting to the trailer, and they didn't really like it. They thought that they deserved the shot. So there's gonna be more, of course. Yes, you got to get the whole performance naturally. But from what I saw right there, that was pretty cool that they captured that moment. Pretty sweet. Pretty freaking sweet. All right, and what else we got? Yep, we got some shots for, obviously from the Artemis 2, NASA posting Earth shots that look beautiful. Looked absolutely beautiful. We got that. That didn't go anywhere. All right. Zack Cregger, man. Zack Cregger. Zack Cregger's a man. I think he's the guy, man. I think he's proven himself. I mean, when it comes to weapons last year, I mean, he really created something special. So I think people are now confident that he actually might crack the code when it comes to video game adaptations, specifically, of course, when it comes to his Resident Evil movie. Now, a lot of people, we've been hearing some details that it's going to be not the initial story, it's just going to take place in the world. And maybe that's the way to go, because when it came to the original movies from Paul W.S. Anderson, okay, I'll give him number 1, and then it started slipping number 2, and then they all suck. Because Paul W.S. Anderson sucks. Nothing against Mila Jovovich. She's great. She's a great action star. She's goddamn beautiful. Nothing against her. And then, of course, they try to do, some kind of series on Netflix or something like that. They've been trying to do Resident Evil, but when it comes to World of Real right here, this is what they were having to say, and it's kind of interesting. Zack Cregger's Resident Evil has reportedly been described as a horror Fury Road that is 90 minutes of all gas, no brakes. Yes. That could be how you crack the code. You just have 90 minutes of, we got to make it to one point, we're leaving, let's go right now. And you just go. Full throttle. of zombie crazy action into the apocalypse. I hope that that's the case. I hope it's true. And in Zack Cregger, I trust. I trust Zack Cregger, man. We'll see what happens. Billie Jean. See, I got Billie Jean in my head now, even though we didn't hear the music, but I have Billie Jean in my head. Billie Jean. All right. Now it's that time of Film Junkee Live where we go diving into Zack Snyder's, that's right, Zack Snyder's Instagram and see what he's been posting lately. It hasn't been much. It hasn't been all that much. So, but he posted a couple of things right here when it comes to Snyderverse and things like that. So, ooh, I feel like I have to sneeze. Ooh, relax there, nose. But yeah, I think he wanted to do a certain thing. Because obviously it was Easter weekend. It was Easter weekend, so it was like, all right, let me post a couple of little things right there when it comes to somebody who's going to rise. So at first he posted this beautiful shot, which I've always loved this shot right here of the Trinity. And of course he just put the Trinity looking at the fiery fire and obviously about to take on Doomsday. And it's just always like a cool shot. This shot not in the theatrical version. For some reason, I'm pretty sure that this shot was not in the theatrical version when you see the back shot. And then posted the concept art right here. That was, of course, taking away from this painting right here. And we know Zach likes to reference stuff like that. Where sorrow met hope and love paid the ultimate price. Always very cool right here. Obviously, you have Doomsday dead right there. You got Batman helping Superman's lifeless body. You got Wonder Woman helping as well. I don't know who this was supposed to be right here. Somebody. There's like another person right here. Not sure what that was supposed to be. It almost interesting. But then of course you have Lois right here. So kind of interesting. I realized that. I'm like, why is there another figure right there? Who is that supposed to be? But yeah, that's what he was trying to reference right there. And then of course, naturally, Happy Easter. He has risen. Because that's what his Superman story was all about. Zack wanted that kind of story for Superman to put him through the ringer, deconstruct the character, and how would the world react to Superman now? How would they react to Superman right now? I think James Gunn's kind of doing that a little bit in his way into 2025 era. Obviously, this was when Zack was taking it. This was 10 years ago. So that was like before the big extreme social media boost, like Twitter and all this kind of stuff. There was social media, but not as big as it is now. So I think that's why James, went the route of the goofy monkey thing and the hashtag super shit. But when it came to this right here, yeah, it was just like, okay, so how would the world react like that? And then, of course, people treated him like the Second Coming, which was featured in BVS, showing all that and everything. And then he wanted to have that rebirth because a lot of people were hating the fact that Zack was like, what are you doing in Superman? Why is he emo Superman? Why this? Not my Superman, all that kind of stuff. But he was like, hey, we're going to get to that point. We're going to get to that point. When he comes back, he's going to be that Superman. And a lot of people, when they saw Zack Snyder's Justice League, they went, oh, Zack, that's what you were doing, you silly goose. Why didn't you tell us? Meanwhile, all his fans out there were like, we tried. You didn't listen. You wanted Superman to be rescuing cats and saying, like, flying is still the safest way to travel, kids. You wanted him to say that in the first movie. It's like, no, you got to build that up. In modern day, you got to build that up. So yeah, that's what he's posted recently. Nothing too crazy, just a couple of things. You like Superman much more? There's nothing wrong with that. Snyder is not hinting at anything. This is a cool poster right here too. Burton Batman by IG Mythos Arts. So you got Keaton's Batman right here. Add in some villains. Obviously the villains that we saw, and then of course decided to add, what's his name for Harvey Dent? what's his name, Billy D. Williams, putting him as Two-Face, which is interesting. And then, of course, added the costumes that we saw in the Flash movie, which I really thought was cool. And then, of course, showing the Batmobile, the Batwing, the Bat Signal. I thought that was just a cool piece of artwork right there. Because there is something, there's something there. There's a little bit that you could have a poster like that. I would gladly have that on my wall because that is a legacy of Michael Keaton's Batman. Yeah, we didn't see that Two-Face. Well, we kind of did. We saw him in the Batman 89 comic book, so you could use that. We could use Billy D's Two-Face. Not Tommy Lee Jones. All right, what else we got? Did you guys see this? All right, so you guys know I'm excited for the Backrooms movie. And if you watch the Backrooms, it's got, what's his name? Say right here. I always forget his name. No, I don't even say it, but, Cheat 12, the star. I always forget his name. He's got a difficult name. What can I say? I'm sorry. I should try to learn it better, but, I mess up a lot. But... so obviously he owns like this store and he finds the Backrooms and slips into the Backrooms. So they actually have this fake in-movie commercial for it, for Captain Clark's. Santa Clara, jeez. It's a little bit up north. There you go. Fake commercial. Good stuff. And thank you, Indiana Jake. See, Indiana Jake, he did a good job of writing words where I could easily sound it out. So Chiwetel Ejiofor. Ejiofor. So Chiwetel, that's right. Chiwetel Ejiofor. See? That's how you do it right there. That's how you do it. Thank you, Indiana Jake. You're awesome. You're awesome for that. Very awesome. Then going back to Zack Cregger, talk about getting the ultimate compliment. I mean, I could only imagine. I wish that there was a video somewhere of someone that's close to Zack Cregger going, hey, by the way, we have a message for you. Somebody gave you a compliment about weapons. And we want to get you, and they have the video on. You want to read the compliment that you got for weapons, and then we see his actual reaction to this, because this is the ultimate goated response to your movie. Compliment right here. It's absolutely crazy, but yes. Empire Magazine posted this right here. Steven Spielberg says Zack Cregger's Weapons has arrested his desire to make a horror film. When I see a great horror film like Weapons, I don't have an itch I need to scratch. It satisfied me so completely. It's the ultimate freaking compliment right there. You got Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg saying oh yeah, I don't need to do horror. Look at that movie. That's perfect. Satisfied me. Satisfied that itch for me to want to show these young bucks how to make a horror movie. Boom, right there. So freaking cool. The ultimate. It's pretty funny right here. It's probably AI. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But happy Easter. Oh, if you know, you know. And I'm sure some of you guys know, but some of you guys probably don't know. Yeah. Of course, Jake Gyllenhaal with the apocalyptic bunny from Donnie Darko. If you haven't watched Donnie Darko, watch Donnie Darko. It's a very interesting concept. I really enjoy that movie. I definitely really enjoy that movie. Master of the Universe. We got a new shot of Nicholas Glitzen as He-Man. Of course, we had the new trailer out last week, which a lot of people really enjoyed, and it seems like that's going to be a pretty big hit. And yeah, we got a really cool image right here, a little promo image. It should be the poster. Maybe it is going to be a poster, but it just got released, and I was like, okay, that's cool. It's him just in full on He-Man mode, holding the sword, and you got the Castle of Grayskull right behind him. I mean, you just need the fucking logo right there, and that's it. It's good. Boy looks like He-Man. That's the most he's looked like He-Man, in my opinion. I'm like, yeah. Some of the other shots, like promo shots and other shots, I'm like, yeah, okay. But right there, he looks 100% like He-Man. Yeah, I think that movie's going to be a big hit. Definitely going to be a big hit. It's probably going to be one of the biggest movies of the year, for sure. And it's a Ryan Gosling thing, guys. It's a Ryan Gosling thing. It's a Ryan Gosling thing. Barbie, and of course, Project Hail Mary. Him in zero gravity, just kind of frailing around like that. Twitter. You know, you gotta love Twitter. Twitter's fun. Twitter's great. Oh, yeah, and also, guys, if you have... Okay, here's something right here, too, guys. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's now on HBO Max. Alien 3, the Assembly Cut, otherwise known as the Director's Cut, the Fincher Cut. It is now on HBO Max. I actually do plan on watching this. I'm actually very happy because I've watched it once. Because Alien 3 is not great. Even David Fincher fucking hates that movie, and that's his first movie that he ever directed. But of course, it was like studio interference. It was this, there was that. Yes, I know it's kind of a downer type movie. It starts off as a downer, but you can actually go on HBO Max now and watch that assembly cut of Alien 3. Uncut, the more Fincher-y type. It's better, 100% better than what we got in the theatrical. So go check it out. If you have HBO Max, you can watch the assembly cut of Alien 3. So there you go. Gotta love that. And you also gotta love this. Oh, we got another Daredevil little season 2. I don't know. It's funny because it's like we're in the middle of season 2. So some of the shots in this little trailer we've already seen. Some of them we haven't, but yeah, here's this right here that got released by Marvel Studios today for Disney Plus.
I'll have one banana milkshake.
Banana milkshake. So that's Bullseye's taste right there. Banana milkshake. Gee, what's he gonna do with that toothpick? You guys should have started firing right there. But that's not it, folks. That's not it. There's more. That's a cool shot. So some of this we've already seen. Some of it we haven't. Most of it we haven't. So, and of course, there she is. And she has a daughter.
You heard?
I'm pissed.
Holy shit. It's murder.
Saw this already.
That's gonna be called that.
Then this should be tons of fun.
And then we got...
Born Again, Season 2.
So we got that. And then... Oh boy.
Punisher special presentation.
Oh, little tease for the Punisher one, last kill. Oh, we got some Frankie. There's Frankie. There's the skull. There's bearded up Frankie. Right there. So a little sneak peek. That was the main thing that people took away from this. So some Jessica Jones, some Frank Castle. Hell yeah, man. What are we doing here? It's great. It's great. We just need a full trailer. Can we get a full trailer of that? Huh? Don't just do that. You're already, this is normal. Okay, cool. Then all of a sudden you do some freaky shit. You do some freaky shit that, ooh, what was that? What was that you just did? And then that was it? A little tease. They're freaking teasing, man. What's up with that? Project Hail Mary, man, I tell you what, this movie was going to be studied. And I mean, I'm loving the fact that this is getting so much attention. And it just shows you what Project Hail Mary, I think, is showing the industry, showing people, is the fact that, yeah, you could just take shortcuts. You could just take these projects and just kind of go, all right, do this, VFX, fix it in post, whatever the hell. And you would think that a movie like Project Hail Mary that takes place majority in space, that there's just going to be a lot of visual effects and everything. But then we're slowly realizing, like, oh shit, Rocky was actually a puppet. Most of it was puppeteering. Yes, there's sometimes where he's CGI, but there's also a lot of the times he's being operated by a puppeteer. It's actually a practical object. We saw, like, when it did that one shot with all the little sparkly things, which is a beautiful shot. That was practical. Of course, the background had to be added, so that wasn't, the background of the planet. But all the other stuff, they had all these little lights that created this really cool effect. Well, when it comes to the tunnel, when it came to, when they connected the ships, Rocky's ship to Grace's ship, that whole thing was actually constructed as one long physical thing. They, like, made this huge tunnel for them to work in. I mean, I don't think anybody thought this was, full-on visual effects. But yeah, the tunnel where Grace and Rocky meet in Project Hail Mary was built practically. The tunnel was 70 feet long and contained a huge rig of old-school tungsten lights that were then pixel mapped to create a controllable moving sun instead of the tunnel. So, yeah, look at that. So they actually had all that right there. That's pretty cool. Look at that thing. It's just pretty sweet, man. That's what happens when the filmmakers and everybody involved in making the film just handle the story, handle everything with care, and they're like, no, we're not going to just do VFX and VFX. That's why I give props to Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, man. They wanted to make sure that this was an experience, and they wanted to make it feel real. They wanted to make it feel as real as possible. So, just really cool stuff. You just love to see stuff like that, right? It's not going to be studied, okay? That's an expression there, Music Man. I wasn't saying that it was actually going to be studied, but And then finally, we have writers for the X-Men movie. That's right. We know it's going to be directed by the Thunderbolts director, but now we got Lee Sung-jin, a.k.a. Sonny Lee, and Joanna Callow are penning the script for Marvel Studios' X-Men. The duo previously worked on Jake Schreier which that's of course the director, when they on Thunderbolts, and then of course they did the series Beef. So we got our writers. Got the writers right there. And I think, Thunderbolts was well received. And I think a lot of people, when it came to the director, and we found out that he was doing X-Men after watching Thunderbolts, it was like, okay, yeah, I think you can handle Thunderbolts. I think so. But it's just kind of funny because Thunderbolts seemed like it was going to be big because it was so well received. And then it just kind of, just done. Done, gone, whatever. It was kind of weird. I thought it was going to sail on and just keep on going. I thought it had legs. And then it just kind of, F1 came out and some of the bigger blockbusters, and then of course the month of July, and then all of a sudden it was like, no talking about Thunderbolts anymore, but still Thunderbolts, decent movies right now. So yeah, should be good. All right, and I think that's all we got right there. That's all we got. Thunderbolts' main problem was the characters weren't all that interesting. Some of them were. I wouldn't say that. So they're using the volume for I think they were using some of the volume, yeah. So they're using some new technology and practical effects. Ooh. Artemis is passing close to the moon. Is that real? Or is this, I don't know. So apparently, yeah, I'm just seeing this. I don't know if it's real. Is that real? I guess that's real. Speaking of space stuff, I mean, look at this right here. So this is all happening. This just happened. I'm guessing, because sometimes they do like CGI, like, no, this is real shit right here. No, this is absolutely real. But at first, like sometimes when they were going around the dark side of the moon, you can't really broadcast. You can't do that. So because you know, obviously the moon's in the way. But yeah, this is the Artemis right here. Just kind of this is fake. This is fake. This is fake. What the hell, man? See, that's the thing. What's real? What's not? You're giving the flat earthers ammunition if this shit's fake. Good Lord. All right, well, it's fake. See, it's not helping the conspiracy theorists out there for using fake shit. Conspiracy theorists out there are like, see? What I say? It's all fake. Flat earth. It's not helping when I'm seeing stuff like that and going, hey, look at this. Look at what they're showing us. Here's the moon. And then it's fake. It's like, good Lord. We don't have footage yet. I mean, I guess it takes time to travel, right? Because the live broadcast... Okay, yeah. So this is what the live broadcast is. And it says visualization. It's visualization. So... yeah, so I guess, yeah, we're not going to get live broadcasts anytime soon because it's still got to travel through space. Yeah, I know, but I mean, again, not helping the conspiracy theorists. Not helping. Oh, man, but hey, what could you do? It's still cool. You know, perfect timing for like when it comes to like Project Hail Mary coming out. Everybody's loving space right now. You know, everybody's loving because of Project Hail Mary. I mean, it just shows you that movies still have an impact. Okay, and that's what I love. I love that movies still are having an impact to the culture. So it just seems like a lot more people were like, oh my God, Artemis 2. Now they're really excited about it. I don't think people would have been as excited. Still, there would have been people excited, sure. But I think like you have like a popular space movie out there that people love, that just helps. Now people are just all about space right now. Disclosure Day, yeah. I know, they've been talking, there's some podcasts I need to watch talking about alien stuff. That's gotten a boom too. This year might be the year where they just all of a sudden the fucking aliens are just gonna land on the White House lawn and Trump's gonna come out. It's all right, we're good. How's it going, aliens? And they're gonna look at him like, what the fuck? What is that? Just kidding. Maybe not, I don't know. He's very orange, so. So hopefully it's not gonna be like Mars Attacks, that's for damn sure. That would suck. All right, what else we got? What do we got? All right, let's dive into the DCU news, okay? Yeah, you know, we got some things to talk about when it comes to the DC universe. And, you know, obviously the big, you know, everything when talked about last week was all about Supergirl, and we're still talking about Supergirl. You know, there's one thing that I totally missed, and I think I talked about this a little bit, in the Supergirl trailer when she's crowd surfing. I totally missed that Crypto was also crowd surfing as well. Yeah. So basically, it was just kind of like, I don't know exactly what it's from. Oh yeah, I know where that's from, duh. Of course, yeah, I forgot about that. The featurette of Supergirl. Where is that? Is that, it's not on the page, or did that come later? I don't even know where it's at. Hold on, let me find the featurette. Why is the featurette? Come on, DC Film News. Why did you forget? Where's the featurette? What are we doing here? I can't find the featurette. So we got that. But yeah, I didn't even notice that she was right there. Is that it? No, that's not it either. Where the hell's the featurette? There it is. Jeez. Yeah, the Supergirl featurette. Right here if you didn't see it. But this was posted by James Gunn in the official Supergirl Twitter.
Supergirl was raised on a chunk of a disintegrated planet. People were dying all around her. She's not Superman, and she's definitely not Clark Kent.
Supergirl, fueled by this pain, fueled by this hurt. I think people are expecting a sidekick down to Superman, like she's kind of in the periphery of his world. But what they're actually going to get is a really kick-ass Supergirl.
That's what we're hoping for.
Is a complete force to be reckoned with.
She's not afraid to punch him in the face.
There he is.
Really brings this rock and roll vibe to the character.
Millie's absolutely killing it. She's really happy with this character in the best way. I couldn't imagine anybody else in this role.
It's from that guy.
Buddy, that's what I've been calling you.
Touche.
It's really a power story. And about resilience. You can be your own hero.
Oh! Yeah! It's a cool little featurette, you know, short, sweet, to the point. But naturally, of course, there are people that just have to, you know, they have to find something. So what was the common thing? Well, let me just give you a little hint. It's from the Snyder fans out there, the diehard ones, the big ones that hate James Gunn. What do they say? James Gunn is in this more than the actual director. What? James Gunn, who's a name, who is leading DC Studios, who people recognize the most, is in this featurette more than the director? And it looks like they actually didn't sit down with the director. If you notice that, the only interview that you do see from Craig Gillespie when he praises Mealy Alcock is he's on the set. But they had Jason Momoa and Mealy Alcock, so apparently they didn't get him sitting down, or maybe they are saving that for later. But yeah, that was like the big thing. It was like, why is he? And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Always something. And again, I always say, but if it was Zack. Anyways. If there was like a featurette, and I think there, you know, if there was like a featurette like for Wonder Woman and Zack was in it more than Patty Jenkins, how would you feel about that? You wouldn't say anything about that, would you? Nah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. But yeah, cool little featurette. And I love it too. You know how people, I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I know, like, you know, we talked about, you know, what her quotes from last week and everything. And then, of course, you know, I mean, I think she's beautiful, in my opinion. I think she's freaking awesome. But, of course, you know, you get a lot of the people out there that are making, making posters where she looks like that one actor who was in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And then, of course, making her look like Sid and stuff like that. And then, of course, freeze framing her on a certain shot. You know, I always love that when people like to like take like a freeze frame where like the actor looks kind of like the face is like making something, and then you're just like, look at this shit, like one little fucking frame. And they like to do that stuff. Oh man, fandom was a mistake, wasn't it? It was a mistake. All right, so yeah, we got that stuff. And then, of course, hey, if you guys are wondering about the Batman Nightfall movie, Batman Nightfall Part 1 will premiere at the Annecy Animation Festival in June, so that's cool. These people are just closeted away. I mean, they probably are. I mean, and they're always hiding behind profile pictures. Always hiding behind those profile pictures. Paint me like you paint your... Draw me like you draw your French girls, Jack. You know, Jason Momoa is just having fun with that shit. Is it on there? Hold on. Let me see here. We got something from Robert Pattinson right here. Oh, too many ads. Too many ads. I hope DC bumps up the animation. Me too. All right. Robert Pattinson. Okay, so this is very interesting because, the Batman Part is now it's been pretty much official. They released, like, Deadline and some of the trades released an article basically talking about, like, oh yeah, it's going to really start kicking into production in June. And, of course, they fully confirmed that Sebastian Stan is playing Harvey Dent, and then Scarlett's in it. And we still haven't gotten Christopher Dent, Harvey's dad. We haven't gotten that announcement. I think they actually might be announcing that sometime this week. Who knows? But, you know, that's all ready and set to go. But Robert Pattinson right here, an interview. This is from, It's another language kind of thing, but I think we'll be all right. But he actually said something pretty interesting about the Batman Part 2 that I wanted to discuss a little bit right here.
It was like, because the first one was like a little bit of a different type of Batman movie, and this is like really a different type of Batman movie. So I think hopefully people will be really pleasantly surprised by. I also want to know.
Okay, there you go. That was weird. But yeah, there's like I don't even know what language that is. Turkish? Yeah. So naturally so the audio they already had it dubbed and then they dubbed it again. I don't know. But the thing to take away from that is the fact that he said that the Batman movie was a different take on Batman. This one's also an even different take on Batman. I'm kind of going, what does that mean? Does that mean it's still going to be like the first one, but just with a little bit of changes? Or is Matt Reeves trying to do something different with this one? Is there going to be more Bruce Wayne in this one? Because there was a lot of Batman in the first one. That's what I'm kind of wondering when it comes to that quote right there. That's what I'm kind of wondering. I'm just wondering about that. Interesting. It's interesting. It doesn't have me worried or anything. Don't worry. And then when it comes to the Batman 2, what does this mean right here? Are we finally getting our hint of exactly who the freaking villain is, the main villain when it comes to the Batman 2? Because the working title for the Batman 2 is kind of giving something away right here. The Batman Part 2's working title revealed and what it means. Nexus Point News has confirmed that the working title for the Batman Part 2 is Semper Vigilans. This working title may also have revealed exactly who Batman will be dealing with in this sequel. Semper Vigilans is Latin, and Semper stands for always, while Vigilans can stand for many words such as watchful and vigilant. And the words of the same variety. It's safe to say that the Semper Vigilans means always watchful. This is the motto of several institutions, with the U.S. Air Force Auxiliary Civil Air Patrol being one of them, and the commonly found upon security of police forces, signaling constant readiness and being prepared. The working title of that kind of, if you want to think about it, you're thinking about, of course, the Court of Owls. The second meaning could also be teasing the secret organization that is using the motto Semper Vigilans for themselves that fans have been expecting to see and appear in the Batman Part 2, and that's the Court of Owls. In the comics, there's a nursery rhyme about the Court of Owls, and it goes like this: beware of the Court of Owls. And beware of the Court of Owls that watches all the time, ruling Gotham from a shadowy perch behind the granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth. They watch you at your hearth. They watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word of them, or they'll send the talon for your head. The key of the nursery rhyme: the Court of Owls are always watching. So, kind of interesting. So yeah, a lot of people are kind of putting that together like, oh, whoa, watchful. I mean, the Court of Owls would work so well in Matt Reeves' universe. And maybe that's what Robert Pattinson was talking about. Because there hasn't been a Court of Owls in a movie. There's been a Court of Owls, of course, like in Gotham, and we've seen that. But in a movie sense, could be very interesting. So, All right, what else we got? Talked about that. Yeah, we got some comic book stuff. What else we got? Yeah, we got more background, more. We already talked about the Batman. Yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to that. So, all right. Now we shall listen or hear from our Brainiac. That's right. Man of Tomorrow, Brainiac. Lars Eidinger. I'm probably saying his name wrong because that's what I do. But he was, let's see, what was he being, what was this video? What was this podcast or whatever? Oh, that's, come on. So obviously it's in, he's German, so it's a German podcast, so I can't even, I don't even know exactly. You know, you could see it right here where it's like this podcast right here. Miss Vincent, see, yeah, I'm not even going to try. Not even going to try that. But we pulled some clips. They're Superman Saga news, pulled some clips. And, you know, so we get some details when it comes to Brainiac, and then, of course, the process that he had to go through and everything. And it's pretty cool. It's translated, don't worry. So, first off, the first clip we have is DC Studios was obsessed with Lars's Brainiac self-tape. So, apparently, when he sent in his audition through, you know, probably, you know, recorded himself on his phone, I don't know. Apparently they were obsessed with it. So let's see right here.
Ja, und danach habe ich dann meinen Agenten gefragt, was heißt es jetzt und soll ich jetzt so ein Self-Tape aufnehmen?
Yeah, the selfie tape. And then when I said, yeah, exactly, work a self-tape tape, and then they sent me the text, which I memorized. Then at home in the living room, I sent my wife and daughter away, and I said I had to record something because I get embarrassed when I'm sitting in the living room playing, and they walk through the background or whatever. Let's turn that down. I memorized, of course, found the interesting because they are really well written texts. And can memorize very quickly because often a difficulty with text is there are, you know, psychological drive of the character is not so clear or on ambition, yeah. And it takes incredibly long time to memorize them, but if it's as well written as this, then I can almost memorize within an hour or two, yes. And then I memorized the text, and then I sat down and recorded it. And it was like this. After the first time, or I did it 15 times, yes. And I was so desperate because then you think, oh, I'm going to send this there now. And then, of course, he asked him about the sequence, submit. About 3 to 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes segment right here. And then I did a take, so a run-through, where I simply played with immediately after I finished and gave me a kind of freedom because I didn't, too fast. Didn't go as planned. There was much fear in that game, and I looked at it and I thought, well, that's somehow interesting or better than I did before. And then I very carefully sent it to my agent via WhatsApp. And then I said, what do you think of this? And then he wrote back, I already forwarded it. So his agent was just like, here you go. And then evening, and they are obsessed by themselves. So I was cautious about that too because I thought, okay, America, and obsessive, what does that mean? But yeah, but you can hear his voice. I'm so curious about hearing. And there's like another clip. There's another clip where his voice actually sounds pretty better. Oh, yeah. I totally didn't share the screen on that. Sorry about that, guys. But you heard the audio. But yeah, this is the clip. Yeah, it was in black and white, stuff like that. Sorry, I didn't share the screen on that one. But this one right here, basically saying that Lars thought he messed up his Brainiac audition and cried when he got cast in Man of Tomorrow. So here's him talking about that. Ooh. The backdrop, there was nothing there, and it was just a square meter. But yeah, you hear that, and then you have James Gunn.
Any questions?
This is James Gunn impression.
No. Okay, let's go for a take. 1, 2, 3, action. Ja, es war so verrückt, weil, wie gesagt, ich war irgendwie selbstbewusst oder confident und entspannt.
And relaxed. I was kind of relaxed, but my body suddenly reacted to the situation. I was shaking so much. Felt ice cold, yes, because suddenly saw this gate that I had to go through, and behind it is Hollywood, and behind it I am a multi-millionaire. And then suddenly thought I was not up to the situation. My body signaled me, that's it now, and then it probably took several attempts, right? Yeah. Yes, we spent an hour casting, which was a long time. There was a young actor in front of me with a microphone attached, who then read out Superman from off screen. Yes, then he really worked with me, gave me a lot of space, and I was able to improvise and everything, and yet I walked out of the casting and texted my wife that I had messed up and got on a plane. All actors feel like they mess up their auditions. I actually went home with a feeling I was so close to hitting the jackpot, and I just messed it up. And then 5 days later, I kept thinking I was going to get a call from my agent any minute saying, "Hey, Lars, that was great." Yeah. 5 days, I get in my hotel room. I had a reading at Lindbergh, and I arrive at 2 o'clock in the morning. I hear my mobile phone. I get a text message directly from James Gunn. The director says, "Hey, Lars, I'm happy to co-create the character with you." Yes. Awesome. And then I really cried. It was simply wonderful. So cool, man. That is so freaking cool. Yeah, I know. The German is strong. Yeah, I know. But yeah, that voice. I'm just like, I'm loving, like, I'm like, what is his Brainiac voice going to be like? What is his Brainiac going to be? And then right here, we have Lars thought that Lars P. Winther was just an assistant, only to find out that he was the executive producer while watching Superman on the flight. So that's something, we don't have to go through that. But that was like the main two I wanted to talk about was that. So he said that he had to like basically just like walk through a tunnel. And then, of course, he was being fed lines that Superman's going to be talking about. So he read a scene that him and Superman are going to be reacting. I just wonder, what are they going to do to his voice? How are they going to make it sound? Are they going to do something to tweak it a little bit just to amplify it? But, we got a little sense of like, okay, this is Lars being interviewed and him actually talking about the process, giving those little details. And I think that's really cool. That's really cool right here. And I think it's pretty awesome, again, especially with when people keep on saying that the DCU is being cast through Twitter, that you have this guy that just kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody knew who this guy was before this. And like he said, he just like hit the jackpot. So, I mean, just pretty good. And you could tell he's going to be fantastic. He's going to be fantastic. It just, the way that I'm getting his vibe from these interviews, I'm going, all right, James definitely cast the right guy. And I think he's going to blow our minds a little bit. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to get our first cinematic Brainiac finally. And I think it's going to be something pretty freaking awesome. But yeah, the next clip wasn't really much of anything. Was there another clip? There might have been another clip. I think there was another clip. Was there another clip? Let me see if there was. No, there wasn't. All right, so that's it. There you go, guys. And yeah, you could listen to the whole thing, read the subtitles. I tried to do my best when it came to that, so. All right, that's all your DC. Well, that's not it. Actually, I wanted to show this right here. Kind of interesting. All right, so naturally we saw the Supergirl poster, right? The main poster of her doing the superhero pose. And, it's cool. It's fine. It's a little bit just standard and nothing. I thought, I'm hoping that there's going to be a better poster as opposed to this. But the costume looks good. She looks good. And, of course, that's it right there. And then, of course, people took it upon themselves to be like, hey, what about Melissa Benoist doing the same thing? And naturally, of course, when Supergirl, the CW show, was out, nobody fucking watched it. I didn't remember seeing. I mean, people watched it, but there wasn't that many people that watched it. But man, all of a sudden, there's a ton of Supergirl fans now randomly. So weird how that just all of a sudden happens. And it's so weird that it comes from the more conservative side of all this stuff, and it comes from Snyder fans. All of a sudden, they become like huge CW Supergirl fans, even though they call everything that is released now, oh, that looks like CW. But apparently, they love Melissa Benoist now. Nothing wrong with her. That looks pretty cool right there. Hey, there's also this version. There's also a Sasha Calle version. Somebody made this as well, which looks cool. I think all three posters look cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But, also, I still remember in 2022 to 2023, man, I remember those same guys, those same groups going like, what the hell is this? What did they do to Supergirl? All this kind of stuff. But then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, Sasha Calle, she's a better Supergirl than Millie Alcock. Oh, you know how it is. Fandom, what a mistake. Fandom. Oh, you gotta love fandom. But see me, I love all this shit, and I'm like, hey, that's cool. I love seeing that. Of course, the background of Sasha Kaye, the logo is is more the standard logo. It doesn't really look. I mean, I guess it kind of looks like the other one. So, you gotta freaking love it, right? You gotta freaking love it. But I love making fun of them. It's fun to make fun of them. So. Oh boy, here we go, folks. What is happening when it comes to this freaking Paramount and Warner Brothers acquisition, this merger and everything? Well, we got a new article that came out from Variety. It's kind of interesting, and it's got people worried, and it's got certain people that are just excited about one thing because that's all their fucking life is to get a certain universe to be restored, which is just like weird, man. I mean, how you base your whole fucking life just around this one thing, like it's just like, oh, this needs to happen or else my life just piss poor. Not even thinking about possibly the consequences or the concerns of other people. But yes, we always were hearing that, but Paramount, of course, debunked that. They kind of poo-pooed it a little bit when there was like reports that Saudi Arabia, the Saudis, Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and the Saudis, remember that whole thing that, good old Cosmic Book News and Matt McGroin put out there that said, like, the Saudis and Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder were teaming up together to restore the Snyderverse, because that sounds like, a legit fucking thing. But, so we got this article right here from Paramount talking about this, so here we go. Paramount Skydance secures $24 billion from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi funds for Warner Brothers deal. Whoa. Anyways, am I not going to be able to... Okay, we're good. Paramount Skydance, led by David Ellison, has received commitments of close to $24 billion to back its takeover of Warner Brothers Discovery from 3 Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds, Variety has confirmed. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, PIF, agreed to provide about $10 billion to Paramount, with state-controlled funds of Qatar and Abu Dhabi providing the remainder of the $24 billion, according to a source familiar with the agreement and first reported by the Wall Street Journal. So Paramount Skydance spokesperson declined the comment, of course. Paramount's deal to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery, which has $111 billion enterprise value, is pending regulatory approvals. The companies have said they expect the deal to close by the end of third quarter. So it's actually a little sooner than we expected. That some Zazzy Pants and Zaslav basically was saying like, oh yeah, it's probably not going to happen for another 6 to 12 months. Amit Asafi said Paramount WBD deal will absolutely not be on fast track to approval due to political reasons in the context of Ellison's family-friendly ties to Trump. WBD has set April 23rd for a special shareholders meeting to vote on the Paramount Skydance transaction. Paramount's offer for WBD on December 1st included an aggregate of $24 billion from Middle Eastern funds per SEC filing at the time. Since then, the company has not disclosed how much the three funds might be contributing toward its winning bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, which WBD's board of directors accepted in February after Netflix opted to not counter Paramount's $31 per share offer. And a bunch of blah, 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 blah. 2 weeks ago, even Democratic U.S. senators issued a call for the FCC's to conduct a thorough review of the foreign investors. See, a lot of people, our government's kind of like, hey, well, wait a minute. What are we doing here? So they're going to be looking through all this. According to the Wall Street Journal story, because each of the Middle Eastern wealth funds will own far less than 25% of the combined company, Paramount execs don't expect the fund's involvement to spark review by the FCC. So they're hoping that they can get away from all that. Separately, earlier this month, Democratic Senators Elizabeth Warren and Richard Blumenthal slammed the Trump administration's Treasury Department for failing to initiate the CFIUS national security review of Paramount's, obviously, the deal. Blah, 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 blah. Politicians, money, billionaires. Yay! Our favorite thing, right, guys? I'm not doing the Rocky thumbs up. Man, it's just all crazy. It's all crazy. But yes, there are concerns. Saudi Arabia, yes. I mean, you know, and again, I get those chuckleheads. I was going back and forth with some of these chuckleheads that only have one thing on their mind. Everything has to go to the freaking stupid discourse because they want James Gunn out. They want Zack in. Of course, Zack is friends with one of the billionaires in Saudi Arabia, and I know they're going to be helping fund his Brawler movie. So naturally, it's like, oh, we're almost close to doing that. I'm like, yeah, but there's concerns about this. And of course, they don't care. And then, of course, what happens? They start lying. I literally had two guys in my mentions in the same thread underneath that literally lied, guys. And said that, oh yeah, this is coming from the same guy who said the Snyder cut didn't exist. What the actual fuck? Huh? The Snyder, I actually said that, guys? You guys remember when I said that? Yeah, you know, remember when I said that? Man, I gotta get my whatchamacallit fixed. Oh, I wanted to do like my, whatchamacallit. Well, we got that right there. But yeah, I actually had guys that said that. Because I was, and it just had nothing to do with that. They're just like thinking that, oh, now that we're getting closer. And I'm like, do you guys not have like some concerns? Of course they say like, oh yeah, Saudi Arabia is not going to have any governance on what is going to be produced by Paramount. But I would think that maybe the country might, you know, want to be like, hey, what's going on with your news media, huh? You know, let's make sure we don't look bad when we're doing shit. Just make sure you look bad, huh? You know, I don't know. But there's just some concerns. A lot of people have concerns. Some people are like, Jesus Christ, what's going to be happening with this? There are a lot of people that are concerned. This has nothing to do with the stupid fucking discourse that's out there. This has nothing to do with a possible universe that might come back. And it's just like, come on, guys. What are we doing here? Your mind is just on that. You don't care. You know. It's just, I don't know. To me, I'm like, I have my concerns. I'm sure some of you guys have your concerns. And it's more than just a restoration of a fucking universe, man. And it's just sad that that's what that's turned into. And I'm like, wow. Yeah, you saw those mentions, right? You saw those. They literally, I was like, dude, you guys are like literally lying. I never said the Snyder cut didn't exist. And I was like, I had blocked one of them. Because he tried to be all nice to me. He was like, oh, it's all right, man. I was just saying this. I really like your tweets anyways. And I was like, well, too bad. You're not going to interact anymore. See ya. Blocked. Bye. It's going to be interesting. I mean, this thing might not even go through. It might not even go through. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, there you go. There is that article right there talking about the $24 billion. That's a lot of freaking money. Is money even fucking real? Is it even real? $24 billion. Jesus. Jesus H. Christ. Let's talk about the box office, because the box office is blowing up. It's blowing up. We are in summer blockbuster season, man. We go through these little lulls. Obviously, it started off with Project Hail Mary, and then we got, of course, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and they're both just kicking ass at the box office right here. So here's some numbers. Of course, the Super Mario Galaxy movie topped the box office, which with 131.7. Of course, extended. It came out Tuesday evening into Wednesday, so it had a total weekend gross domestically of 190.8. Crazy. 190.8 and 181.8. So it had a grand total of $372.6 million. Of course, the highest grossing movie of the year so far, which is good. And yeah, there's a possibility if this thing does have legs, and it doesn't really have anything coming up. Next week, there's nothing. I mean, I think April is kind of stale now for the rest of the month. So this thing will definitely have legs. This thing could hit $1 billion. First one hit $1 billion, would not be surprised. Project Hail Mary got bumped to second in its third week, but as you could see, only a 41.3% drop. It had a small drop last week, small drop this week. It currently sits at 421.6. I think it had a $191 million budget. So, you know, if you round up to 2, you times it by 3, you know, it's probably going to make, it'll get there. Good word of mouth, man. And then, of course, the drama, which I do want to see, and I might see it this week. I don't know. I haven't decided. I do want to see this movie, but this one for being like a small, crazy romantic comedy starring two powerhouses, Robert Pattinson and Zendaya, it actually didn't do. It did well. It did pretty well. A24 movie, 14.4, 11.8, 26.2. I can't imagine the budget for this movie was that high. I would say that the budget for this movie was probably in the $20 million range, maybe less. So, not too shabby. A24, they know how to make their freaking movies, man. Hoppers was fourth. It's sitting at 332.2. That one's just kind of been coasting. Reminders of Him rounds up the top 5, 79. And then A Great Awakening, which is probably one of those, I'm guessing it's one of the more conservative type spiritual movies. So that was also a new movie that came out this week. Yeah, I do want to see the drama. I might see the drama this week because there's not really anything that's coming out that I'm like, I was like, man, am I not going to go to the movies this week? And I'm like, well, maybe I'll go see the drama because I'm kind of curious about that one. Kind of curious. So maybe I will go see it this week. Dune Part 3. Whoa. Hey, I mean, do not count this movie out, guys. Do not count this movie out. Because people are excited for it. And there are people that, I mean, let's face it, we're in an era where there are a lot more people that want an Avengers movie to fail. They want it to fail. Now, it's not going to fail, but they really want Dune to be, and so do I. I'm going to go see both. And there's even talks that Marvel Studios might even bump Avengers Doomsday a week just to maybe grab some IMAX screens because Dune Part 3, they got all the IMAX screens, took it all away. Avengers Doomsday is going to have international IMAX screens, but not US IMAX screens. So it's kind of interesting. But yes, tickets went on sale today for Dune Part 3 70 millimeter IMAX. Not digital IMAX, 70 millimeter, which, god damn it, it'd be awesome to see. So tickets went on sale. They had this little promo right here, which was pretty sweet. Oh!
What's happening?
I'm not afraid to die. But I must not die. Yet.
This is funny. You know, one thing that sticks out right here, because if I were to purchase tickets, obviously you guys know I live in Southern California, so we have 4 Los Angeles listings right here, but I guess because nobody's gonna know where the F Ontario, California is, but this theater right here, I've been to this movie theater, this IMAX, so many times. It is now the Regal Edwards Ontario Palace. It's not Los Angeles. It is an hour and a half outside of Los Angeles. It's not even in Los Angeles County. It was just kind of funny when I saw Los Angeles, Ontario. That's not even close to Los Angeles. So if I were to choose one of those, that's the one I'd go to right there. Even Irvine is not even in Los Angeles. That's Orange County right here. So but that's just so it's so funny. It's like, oh yeah, just call it Los Angeles. Who cares? Just call it Los Angeles. Everything else is Los Angeles County. But these two screenings, yeah, these are in 2 separate counties. I just thought that was kind of funny. But yes, guys, within hours, sold out. All tickets for the IMAX 70 millimeter showings have been sold out. Quick. But I kind of asked the question, how many, because we saw this when they already released, remember when they did like a year in advance to get, it was like what, last year, right? It was like they already, hey, you could buy tickets for the Odyssey. And those were like being swiped up. And then all of a sudden you saw them on eBay. You saw people reselling them. I'm kind of wondering how many people were, reselling these tickets. Like, you had like these fucking assholes that just go in there and buy like 12 tickets, and then all of a sudden they're trying to post them online, upcharging. I'm kind of wondering, is there some of that was happening? I hope not. And I'm thinking that, it's probably a majority of just people that are excited for the movie, which I really hope for. But there's going to be some freaking slippery weasels out there that are probably going to be doing that shit. So there you go. Cope is not even in Philly. Yeah, see? I mean, I think they just put the city that people will recognize. So, yeah. I'm not driving 4.5 hours to Dallas. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I got that IMAX screen up here. It's going to be on that IMAX. Yeah, I mean, there's something about watching it on 70 millimeter film. There's just another layer of cinematic glory that is injected into your fucking eyeballs. Sure. But yeah, I'm not gonna be disappointed. I'm still gonna go see it on the biggest screen possible, So, anyways, unfun fact: they're called scalpers. Yeah, ticket scalpers, and people who buy and sell stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially what it used to be when people, would buy tickets, physical tickets, and then be outside of some big event like a concert or a sporting event, and they're like, "Hey, we got tickets. Get tickets here." Now it's like there's like a digital aspect of it when it comes to some of these event movies where they do like a pre-sale, and all of a sudden you got assholes in there that just buy up as the maximum limit of tickets, and then they start reselling. I'm hoping that it's not a lot. I'm hoping that the majority, which is fans that want to see this goddamn movie, I'm hoping that that's the case. It just sucks that that's the world we live in. Resellers, man, they suck. That's what people did for the Yoshi popcorn buckets. Yeah, they did that too because at Dodger Stadium they had a Yoshi bobblehead night because there's one of the Japanese players for the Dodgers. His last name is Yoshi or his first name is Yoshi. I can't remember, but he's got Yoshi in his name, and so they were kind of doing like a night for him, but it was actually because of Mario. It was the Mario Yoshi. And apparently, people go to the games. People will go buy a ticket to like a baseball game. Like they'll buy a ticket to that Dodger game and they'll go get a couple of bobbleheads and then not even watch the game because then they go throw it on eBay or whatever for like $300-$400 because they know they'll just, I'll sacrifice, I'll buy the cheapest ticket. I'll get there really early. You buy like a fucking $60, $70 ticket. You take the hit. You get there. You get a couple of bobbleheads. You sell them on fucking eBay for $300, $400. You make your money back and then some. That's just the way people are, man. People are people. Oh, man. It's just like, what are we doing? Okay. Refresh. Let's see what you guys are talking about on the Twitter sphere here. When it comes to all this. All right. Let's see. Okay. Start off. We got Mr. Droga right here. Let's see. When watching the original Daredevil series lately, and it still holds up. Been watching, sorry. Which character do you hope comes back from the Netflix show? That trailer looked really good. Is this peak? Yes, but in Armenian Korea. That's funny. We already know that the Defenders, the Heroes for Hire, they're already coming back. The Netflix show, it would be cool to see Rosario Dawson's character come back. We kind of talked about that on the Vox stream. It'd be kind of cool, but it doesn't seem like she will come back. But it would be sweet. Eric Blake, hey Dave, I'm pretty amazed at this growing trend of latter-day sequels like The Mummy 4. Any thoughts on the latter-day sequel might be cooked up next? Well, hopefully Constantine. And like I always say, regardless of these dumbasses, these fucking chud dumbasses that come into my mentions that think that I don't want the Snyderverse to return in some form, I still if there's something that's going to happen with Snyderverse, it's going to be a legacy sequel or a latter day sequel, I guess you could say. As you know, when it comes to like something else, The Nice Guys, I mean, it's been 10 years. It'd be nice, but we already know that that's probably not going to happen. But Constantine, that's definitely one of them, but that's been out there. Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman. Devin Wooter, hey Dave, how surprised that the new Mario movie's doing well? Not really surprised at all. Do you think it will reach $1 billion? Could possibly. And do you think Marvel is nervous about Dune 3 IMAX? Yes, which is good. It should be. Competition's good. Tickets, I just watched RoboCop, awesome movie. What's your favorite scene? Robert, when he shoots the dude right in the dick, when he's holding up that girl, he's holding up that lady, and she's wearing like a long skirt. And he just like scans around, and then he realizes because like her legs are like kind of open and it's a skirt, so he shoots and he hits the guy right in the dick. That's the best part of the movie right there. No, there's a lot of memorable moments in that movie for sure, but it was just it was really cool. And speaking of RoboCop, apparently Amazon's gonna have a RoboCop series that's gonna be coming out. I don't know if you guys saw that announcement, but MGM, Amazon, they're going to be doing a Prime series based on RoboCop. And it kind of makes you wonder, when it comes to RoboCop, kind of makes you wonder, and I was thinking about this, and I was talking to this with my brother, that, you know, first off, everybody's like, oh, it's going to be woke. They're going to, like, cast, like, a, you know, lesbian, black, trans woman in a wheelchair or something like that. That's what they're going to do. And I'm just like, yeah, that's funny. I get it, you know. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, so can you do RoboCop in modern day? They already tried with Joel Kinnaman, that Joel Kinnaman RoboCop. They already tried to do a remake, and that was like, what, 2014? That was like 12 years ago. And that movie wasn't terrible. It had its moments. There were some cool things in there. But that's the thing, is like I think the appeal to RoboCop is the 80s future aesthetic. I think that's part of the appeal and why RoboCop is still kind of like, when he's talked about, it's like, do they modernize it again? Do they just do a modern take? Or do they try to maybe capture a little bit of that nostalgia and then try to make the aesthetic of the series look like that 80s future Detroit? Do they try to do that? You know? That's what I kind of wonder. And they better make it rated R. They better make it rated R. But that's what I was kind of questioning. Like, do you just do modern take, or do you actually try to make him look like RoboCop? Like how he looks, because obviously in that Joel Kinnaman one, they had to modernize the RoboCop look, and they made him like matte. They made him like black. He was all black at first, and then they added the silver. It looked cool. Like I said, that shot. The best part about that RoboCop remake movie was when they had this moment where like one of the scientists were interacting with him, and it was just his head. It was just his head and the lungs that were propped up, so they were like keeping him alive, and he was just a head and lungs. It was so creepy because they were having like a conversation and they're talking, and you're seeing the lungs just, and it was like, oh, but I thought, oh, that's really cool. It was a cool shot. It was hard to watch, but I was like, but that's really innovative and cool. So, like I said, it's just, that's the thing. It's like, what do? Do you modernize? I don't know. That's the difficult part. Yeah, Joel Kinnaman, man. So, Cooper Knox. So, what kind of batshit insane conspiracy theory are the Restore of the Snyderverse fandom going to come up with this week? Well, like I said, they're already like they're licking their freaking fingers, licking their lips, and being like, "Ooh, yeah, that's right. So yeah, we're gonna be getting some of that Saudi money." They're already thinking that that Cosmic Book News is been reporting correctly that 100% that Zack has been working with his friend who is a billionaire Saudi to restore the Snyderverse. They actually, that's what they're going to be leaning into when it comes to the news this week. Discussing Film posted the Batman. Yeah, I already talked about that versus Seed. Yeah, that's going to be filming in June, yeah. And then we got Dylan G right here. Here's the real Artemis footage. That one you had was Artemis. Oh, okay, so that's okay. So this is the real footage right here. Is it? Is it? It looks like a model to me. Fake. Fake news. No, it's not. The Earth is flat. We live in a simulation. So this is the real footage. This looks like we're watching Apollo fucking 13. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So that's the real footage. Then it said Artemis 2 crew named a lunar crater after Commander Reed, Wiseman's late wife Carol. That was beautiful. Aw, that's cool. That's pretty cool. That's cool. So yeah, so we got a crater named after a late great wife. So that's a pretty good moment right there. I love that. Gotta love that. Humanity. That's humanity when they're good. Not when we're fighting about cape shit. Right? Cape shit and political shit and oh, jeez. It's all just pretty crazy. But cool. So yeah, keep an eye on that, see what's going to be happening with all that. And yeah, it was kind of funny because I think it was, Commander Reed. And it's funny because Adam Reed, he wrote Project Hail Mary, and he's the commander. So it was kind of cool. It was like, oh, we got Reed and Reed. Hey, look at that. Another little coincidence right there. So pretty freaking sweet. Pretty freaking sweet. So, all right, guys, that is today's show. Good times. There we go. Oh, leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. Have a good rest of your Monday, of course. And yeah, see if more stuff happens. I'm sure some more trailers will be discussed. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the members only Film Junkee Live. And then we should be doing DC Fanimated this week as well. So always great talking with you guys. Like I said, if you hit that like, thumbs up, hit the notification bell, do all that, leave a comment, say the show sucked, say it was great, whatever you want to say, helps out everything. But have a good rest of your Monday. Have a good Tuesday. See you Wednesday, you members. All right, guys, love ya. Post show on the Patreon if you're subscribed to that. All right, talk to you later.